What's up, guys? Today we're going to be taking a look at the Galaxy S22 Ultra. This is a fantastic older flagship to consider, and it's not, crazy cheap. It's, still $400. And I think what's funny about this phone in particular is if you look at the Note 20 Ultra, which I'm going to do another comparison with, this phone is still kind of up there at close to this phone's price at like $350 now. So 50 more bucks you can get a Galaxy S22 Ultra here, and I think it's a fantastic phone. This is a phone that you can definitely keep for a long time and you won't really have to worry about it. Hardware wise, still looks pretty good. You can see it still pretty much has a modern design here. If I can grab my S24, and you guys can see here that it still pretty much looks like a new phone for the most part. The design on here, it's not the most, to me, the most comfortable phone to hold. It's very boxy, but if you can, I would say, like, put a case on it and it kind of takes away some of that sharpness. But besides that, it's perfectly fine. It's a really nice looking phone to look at. IP68 dust and water resistant. You do have the built-in S Pen as well too, and these are so accurate, especially the newer ones, that you could do digital artwork with these as well too. And if you go on YouTube, you can see people doing some serious digital artwork with this as well. So that's also just a really bonus for any artist out there. So design wise, still looks really good. Now the screen on the S22 Ultra is still pretty much identical to the newer Ultra phones. This guy's 6.8-inch display. It's a dynamic AMOLED, 120 Hz HDR10 plus, 1750 nits peak brightness with a full 1440p resolution, 500 for the PPI. One of the things that Samsung got away from was this curved design. So you can see this phone has quite a bit of a curve to it. It's got kind of like a more dramatic curve to it, and it looks really good still. I think I like the curve because it looks very premium, but Samsung has completely moved to a flat display. The S23 Ultra had it had a curve, but it wasn't as dramatic as this. But this one has like the aggressive curve to it, and I like it. You may not, may or may not like it, but I think it looks still good. It's, like I said, a very boxy phone, but the screen itself very beautiful, a very vibrant display as well too, as you can see, and it does get fairly bright outdoors, so there's no issue there. And yeah, so I do really like the display on here. I think it has aged really well here. So this phone got the One UI 6.1 update here, so you pretty much get all of the same features that you get with the Galaxy S24 here. So all of the same AI features are here, the circle to search, all that good stuff is here. So software wise, this phone is still very modern feeling. It's going to get plenty more updates as well too. So this phone is going to have a pretty long lifespan when it comes to software as well too. So that's definitely something to take note of. Alright guys, let's talk about gaming performance on the S22. So this does have the Snapdragon 8 Gen 1, 128 gigs of internal storage and 8 gigs of RAM. And it's very well optimized for PUBG and pretty much most games. You can see we got 120 frames on PUBG here, Extreme Plus. And yeah, the overall gaming experience is pretty good. This phone can or does have the tendency to get a little bit warm. But I've never had it crash on me or anything like that. So you can definitely game on this phone, no problem. And this is pretty much for all games, Call of Duty, PUBG. Basically whatever you want to play is definitely going to be playable. But like I said, it does have a tendency to get kind of warm, even just with maybe 10 minutes of just having PUBG open. It's already kind of warm. It's not to the point where it's uncomfortable, but definitely it's something that I always notice with this phone, and it's something that Samsung fixed with the S23 and 24. Those phones don't tend to get as warm. But yeah, this phone still makes for a pretty good gaming device. I would say if you put a case on, you really won't notice it heating up. But like I said, I wouldn't worry about crashing or anything like that because I've never had that issue. So let me know what you guys think. What kind of experience have you had with gaming performance on the S22 Ultra here? But so far, mine has been pretty good. It's you can easily just play games on here, no problem. Let's check out these speakers at max volume. Now, the speaker performance on the S22 Ultra is definitely, it's okay. I give it like a B minus. It's not super loud and it doesn't have a ton of bass to it. You know, it's not the most impressive speakers you would expect from a flagship device. I think that's the one thing that I probably just don't kind of like about this phone, is that the speakers are just kind of mediocre sounding. But yeah, so the fingerprint scanner on here works fine. It is the ultrasonic, so that works. You can also do face unlock as well too. Alright, so image quality on the S22 Ultra is still very, very good. It's still taking pretty much flagship quality photos. It's got a 108 megapixel standard with a 10 megapixel telephoto with 3 times optical, a 10 megapixel periscope telephoto with 10 times optical, and then a 12 megapixel ultra wide. And then that also has 8K 24 video, and then you also have 40 megapixel selfie with 4K 60 video. So the images are still pretty crispy, great color, good dynamic range, great video as well too. And I have no issues with the quality here. Just looking at it, it still looks very much comparable to the newer Galaxy phones, definitely for the most part here. I think the only lens that I can tell that has really been improved from the S23 and 24 is probably the ultra wide. But besides that, everything still looks really good. This phone still takes great shots. So definitely, if you're buying this phone for the cameras, I would definitely say that it's still a really good photo taker. This phone also does the 100 times zoom as well too, which is very cool. So if you take a lot of shots, or like if you're at like a sporting event or something like that, you'll really enjoy this phone because it's going to take some really high quality photos for, you know, this $400 price point, which I think is, you know, very impressive. Now, when it comes to battery life on this phone, battery life is just okay on this device. It's just all right. It's I would say, and I'll probably do a battery drain test to show you guys, but I would say this phone gets around 6 hours of screen on time. It's nowhere near as good as the S23 Ultra and the S24. Now, if you're a light user, this phone is fine. But if you're a heavier user, like playing games and stuff, then yeah, you'll notice the battery kind of draining on here for sure. And just having little stuff like this, like the live wallpaper on, kind of makes it drain a little bit more than I would like. But if you notice, there's a big difference from this phone and the S23 and S24 Ultra battery life. Samsung actually made an improvement with the battery life with those two phones. So this phone, the battery life is just kind of okay. It's a 5,000 milliamp hour battery. It does have 45-watt charging on here as well too. And then you also have wireless charging and reverse wireless charging. So I think the overall device for this price point is really good. I think you are getting pretty much a great phone in all areas pretty much for $400. Great cameras, still really good chipset on here. Also great design still, very modern design still. And yeah, software wise is going to be supported for a pretty long time too. So I think this is a great move for anybody who's thinking about getting an S22 Ultra. I would say, yeah, definitely go for it because it's aging so well. So be sure to let me know what you guys think, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.